welcome back to another episode of 15 Nintendo Switch games to buy before they become rare and expensive. And thank you so much for tuning in. So for this episode, I have a special guest who goes by the name of Ghostlink helping me out with this list. So I'm going to kick it over to him to get this thing started.
What's up, dude? Thanks for having me on the channel. And it's a pleasure to be here. And pleasure to collab with you. Huge fan of your work. And yeah, so let's get into it. So the first game that I want to talk about is going to be Harvest Stella. This is one of my favorite JRPGs by Square Enix. I believe this one went under the radar, and it's definitely a game that everybody should check out at some point. It's got a really good cast, really good story, a really good music, and I'm a huge fan of this game. The next game that I have on the list is called Dragonstar Varnir. This one plays like a visual novel, but it's also an RPG. It's kind of like half and half. That's a really good cast, really good story, and I cannot get enough of this game. You just want to know more and more. It's really good. Highly recommend checking this one out as well. And number 3 is Death End Request. This game is a trip and quite graphic. It's like a dungeon crawler but horror. It's really good. The music's really good, and the characters, you really grow to love the characters. It's the story that keeps you going. Fourth one on my list is called Witcher Spring 3. This game is just a fun end-of-day type game. You play as this witch, and it's kind of like an RPG, and you have cool little quests that you do. And it's just a fun, charming end-of-the-day type game. I love it. Number 5 is Trails into Reverie. I also have this for the PS5, but I could not pass up getting it for the Switch. This game is a JRPG, the last one of the Trails series, which I really hope it's not, but I guess we'll see. Number 6 is Yomawari, Lost in the Dark. If you're into horror games, this one is definitely for you. This game is creepy. It may not seem like it by the cover, but let me tell you, it's pretty darn creepy. And last but not least is I Am Setsuna. This game is really cool. It's a JRPG by Square Enix, and it takes place in this snowy mountain. So the whole time in the game you're in this, it's very wintry, very snowy. It's amazing. Really good cast, really good story. Highly recommend checking this one out. If you're into winter vibes, JRPGs, and a good cast and good story, this one's definitely for you. Alright, so that was my personal top 7 favorite rare and hidden gem Nintendo Switch games. My name is Ghostlink, the I is a 1. And yeah, thanks 90s Handheld Gamer for having me on the channel. Huge fan of your work. And we'll see you next time. Peace out, dude.
Alright, so I'll have a link to Ghostlink's latest video in the description. He's also doing his own series of rare Nintendo Switch games to buy now, but let's keep this thing going with Gal Guardian's Demon Purge. This is an awesome 2D side-scroller Castlevania-like game, and I wanted to mention this first with my picks because this game is getting harder to find. It's running out of copies, and resellers are already starting to put this on eBay above MSRP, but there's still some copies out there, I believe, for $40. Just got this at my local GameStop, and I think they had like 2 copies left, so I was glad to pick this up sealed. But of course I had to open it because you know I'm gonna play this. Awesome inlay artwork here, and a little backstory on this. This is actually a spin-off of the Gal Gun series, and the gameplay also, you switch between 2 characters. One has a gun for kind of long-range combat, one has a sword for close-up combat, and this is actually also a co-op experience. So if you like Castlevania-like games and you want one that maybe has a little bit of humor and is kind of different than what you would typically get from these type of games, make sure you cop this one now because it's getting harder to find. Alright, now next on my list I wanted to mention this game, Donkey Kong Country Tropical Freeze. And I know this is a first-party Nintendo game, but honestly, you don't really see this out too much. Even when I wanted this game a couple years ago, I couldn't find any copies in the store for a while. And this is a tough as nails 2D platformer, but I also wanted to mention it right now because it's on sale brand new for Black Friday, $30. So if you don't have this and you can get your hands on a copy of this for 30 bucks, this is a no-brainer. You need to add this to your collection if you're a fan of 2D platformers, the Donkey Kong games, and it also has the new Funky Kong mode to make it more accessible. It's kind of like an easy mode because this game is tough. All right, now next on my list here, another one that's on sale for Black Friday, Xenoblade Chronicles 3. This is going to be on sale for $40. I got it for $35.99 because I found it pre-owned at a local store. But this is a highly regarded, awesome RPG, first party Nintendo experience. This is one that you need to add to your collection sooner than later, and I would say now is the time to pull the trigger on this one and cop it. Alright, now next up here we have Xenoblade 2. Can't show you the inlay artwork for this one because it's still sealed. I will open it once I play the first one, then I want to play them all in order. But this is highly regarded, and if you're going to get into the Xenoblade games and you want to get them all, I suggest getting 2 and 2 Torna, the Golden Country. I got the European copy of this one because at the time I couldn't find the American ones. They were super hard to find, and resellers were selling them for way too expensive. I believe you can get this between like 40 and 50 now. This one you can get for around 50, maybe a little more. But if you can find these and you want to get into the Xenoblade series, get them now before they become more rare and expensive. And of course, the first game in the series, Xenoblade Chronicles Definitive Edition. This is a great game to add to the collection. A lot of other YouTubers and JRPGs fans say this is one of their favorite RPGs of all time. Awesome inlay artwork here. All right, now next on the list here, I have Cotton Fantasy and Cotton Reboot, and I have the strictly limited edition of this one, which came with a manual, and it also has an awesome reversible artwork cover. Let me get this manual out of here. I don't want to damage it. And this is a great 2D side-scroller shmup shooter, shoot 'em up, where you're a witch riding on a broom. You can actually play as different characters. You can play it how it's meant to be played in game over, or you can just have unlimited lives, get through the game, which is what I had to do because I'm no good at these type of games. These games are super tough. And then Cotton Reboot, I believe, is a remake of the original Cotton game, but it also does feature the original game on the cartridge as well, so you kind of get the remake plus the original. Great value. This one you can find for around 20, I believe, pre-owned. Well, the last copy that sold, but these are getting harder to find. So if you like these kind of niche shmup shooter games, go ahead and cop them now before they become more rare and expensive. So that's it for my list here. Shout out to Ghostlink for collabing on this video with me. Thank you all so much for tuning in. If you found this video helpful, informative, or entertaining, please subscribe, hit that notification bell, and until the next video, peace.